we could just do kind of like the moment of silence since you have like all these flowers here.
Mm-hmm.
We could just do 2 beats of when he says it quietly. And then, so he's just ginger.
Oh, you're speaking on behalf of yourself.
And by the way, I didn't think it in my head.
Yes, you did. You can't take.
I just did a 2 beat.
What were the beats for? What did you feel in that?
The count
space?
in which he says that cadence. I just did.
I
just did the BPM of what he says, and then I just followed.
Rory thought it for Valentine's Day. He said, "Maul's his." You just thought it again. Look at him. He did it again.
No, Rory and Ma.
Very excited today because when we have days like this, we can cater all the lighting to my skin tone. It's the small wins. Maul's not with us today. We are still hidden in the hills. Maul's feeling under the weather, so he's hidden in the hotel. But Yomi, Julian, and Rel, I think, decided to make a memorial of him. It appears like Maul has passed away. He's sick. He's not dead.
Well, it
is nice.
He committed to blue all last episode, and clearly that backfired.
And I mean, it is Valentine's Day, which we'll get to. So I guess the flowers make sense. But Maul's feeling under the weather, so please put money bags with, I don't know, like
vaccines,
hospitals, or vaccine
needles.
What was that? The vaccine emoji?
Well, it's the needle. Well, it's funny how the vaccine emoji is also the heroin emoji.
Both make sense. Yeah, same thing. Or just they have like a little hospital house, which I think is like weird. If you're in a rush to use an emoji, like a hospital one, like imagine rushing to the hospital and sending someone in a matter of life or death a hospital emoji, because emojis are shortcuts. No.
Yeah, I get. There's a
I'm going to be rushing to the hospital and be like, sad face, hospitals. I don't know. Maybe emojis don't make much sense to me. Anyways, in better news, before we get to our topics, my album merch has arrived. It's okay. Everyone can clap. Thank you, Yomi. Available now at differentmerch.shop. These are the slides. They're great slides.
Differentmerch.shop.
Thank you. I appreciate the effort.
Different merch.
Julian and Yomi are wearing the socks. I don't know if you want to be a foot model.
Look at it.
Got bays at the toe.
Bays on the foot. And on the top here, I thought it'd be different on the...
Yeah, which he paired with some slacks, some nice khakis. Yeah. But yes, we have socks.
I thought it'd be feet.
We have slides. Yeah, let's go with Yomi's feet. I think she styled it better too. And we have limited supply though. These extremely high quality half zips embroidered. I thought it'd be different. And the zipper comes with 3 different colors, so you can swap them out to match whatever you're wearing.
But Rory, what are the colors?
It is orange, naturally.
Nice.
Moneybag green, and then just a generic white. This brown one's limited edition. That's just for my sample. But I'm excited. It was a long time coming trying to get like some unique merch. I had to go through so many blanks, but I'm happy. Everything came out great. The socks look incredible. Slides look incredible. And this is great. So that's all I have for like on the promo side. And I'm actually going to take this off because it is so quality. I'm sweating my ass off.
Nice. While Rory's doing that, I have a theory. I think Maul's using a deep fake audio generator, and he really has a family in LA that he's been hiding from us for years, because it seems odd that as soon as we landed, he got very ill and then just kind of ducked off and did his own thing. And I want to run that by you, Rory.
Which is typically a Maul thing when we come to LA. But we've had this secret family or secret girlfriend theory for quite some time. It would make sense that LA would be the one that he would settle down in. I just think the Valentine's Day thing is kind of showing his hand. Like, a vegan's not supposed to get sick at all. He eats healthy. He juices. He doesn't drink alcohol. He only smokes like hybrid weed that Elon Musk sells. Like, there's no reason he should be getting sick at all. I think he's actually spending his Valentine's Day with his girlfriend. Unlike the rest of us who, are here working. Or do you think maybe his girl got him sick? Because he stays pretty healthy for the most part in New York.
Yeah.
Yomi thinks ass ate right now. Do you think maybe that's how he got sick? It was an ass to mouth situation.
You think he's wearing your merch while getting his ass ate?
I'm sure it's not even out of the plastic. It's probably back home with the rest of the shit I've given
It's
him.
still at the studio.
Yeah, never. When I gave it to him at the studio, it never left the studio.
He was like, "Oh, nice," and just left it where
Yeah.
you handed it to him.
Yeah, but God forbid if St. John has some new merch.
Shots.
No, St. John's merch is incredible.
Just fire.
That's why they didn't even work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is a theory. Because like, how can you be this sick when you juice every other month? You don't take the vaccine, which I mean, in my opinion, probably keeps you healthier. What could absolutely get Maul sick at any point?
I think people that are vegan sometimes aren't getting these supplements that they need that comes from proteins and other things that people just eat. Normally, I don't want to say normally, whatever, just normal people eat. And Maul, maybe is not subsidizing that stuff, so his immune system is always compromised. Because more often than not, when he gets sick, he's like, "I slept near a fan."
Yeah,
like come on,
he definitely has like
a good wind knocked you out for a week.
He does say things like what my grandmother used to say, like, "Oh, there was a chill last night." Like,
yeah.
"Oh, I cracked a window," and it was like, "Oh,
yeah. All right, Papa."
I think what the healthy, arrogant vegan crowd doesn't realize, when you just stay home and eat healthy, you cannot build your immune system to deal with the elements the moment you walk outside. Like, the cure for the flu is to give you some of the flu. That's a flu shot. Like, you need to just give yourself some of the virus so your body learns. And if all you know is blueberry smoothies and pinto beans, once you just breathe some LA air, it might put you down.
Yes, true. You had the same approach with chlamydia, right? You just gotta go in head first. Just get it.
I mean, but I built the antibodies after the first one. So, now who needs a condom? Maul, on the other hand, would be full-blown AIDS, I feel like, if he ever went raw. But anyways, with all that said,
there's a sick transition here that I don't want to make.
Oh, let's go.
So your twin, your content twin, Sean Evans,
okay,
is rumored to be dating a porn star.
Yes, which was announced on Valentine's Day, which I find very ironic, because Valentine's Day, sometimes you do get those like couple reveals. It's like the first day of school when a chick you followed for like 10 years is taking her kid to school. You're like, you've had a kid this whole time? That happens a lot with relationship reveals on Valentine's Day, when typically men are forced to now tell the world. Like they let it slide for Valentine's Day, but now Instagram needs to see her. That happened, I think, with Sean to some degree, no? A Valentine's Day announcement is a little weird.
I would imagine. How long? So let's speculate on that. How long do you think a couple should be seeing each other if Valentine's Day is their coming out party? Like how long in the dark?
I'm going with Yomi, 2 years.
2 years?
Because the first Valentine's Day, like, it's still new and you should keep that one to yourself. 2 years, I feel like you can start to dabble in that space. But Sean, do we think Sean was outed, or this was a press release from First We Feast? Like, we got to spice this whole thing up for real. Like, he's had everyone. At this point, what else can Sean Evans do? He's just got to date a porn star. He's succeeded in every interview you could think of. I'm just a little torn because I like Sean a lot, and I think he has an incredible platform. But coming off what Travis Kelce has been doing for gingers, I'm not here to judge anyone. I see people saying it's a setback for gingers because we've been having a good few years.
Strong.
I don't find it to be a setback. Outside of Adam22 retweeting it and saying, "Congrats, Sean, her pussy's fire."
With 3 fire emojis.
But that's projecting. He just wants the jokes to go somewhere else and be like, "See?"
Was she featured on...
he's going to be a cuck too.
Did she do his show? I would imagine.
All right. I'm telling on myself. I don't know who that porn star is.
I don't either.
I've never heard the name, but the way people were like reacting, it feels like she's famous, no?
I don't know.
I don't mind like fucking on my algorithms.
AVN All-Star Weekend level, I would imagine. I looked up because her name, her name's what, Melissa Stratton, and I was seeing like on Twitter, I guess she does a lot of MILF porn.
Is she a mother, or she's just
probably not?
Or just like a great
she's probably
actor?
25, and they're like, "Oh, you're old now."
Yeah. So now she's the sexy stepmother. That's like, "Ooh, I like your boyfriend, stepdaughter."
She's stuck in a washing machine right now. Wow.
Sean took her to the Super. Okay, so this is very serious.
She was born in 89. She's 34.
Oh, so she's like an OG in the porn game then.
Yeah.
34 is not old for Earth, but like
For porn.
But then I also feel like she has to be even older because I think the 34-year-olds they say are 18 on the websites. So if her industry age is 34, she might be 55. She looks incredible, but I'm just going how porn does industry ages.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Sean at all. I think if you're in love, this is amazing. Yeah, they look really happy. How do you think they met? And does she have a real porn name? That didn't sound like a porn name.
Her government just is good. She just committed to it. Stratton kind of sounds like a porn last
Does anyone have any porn stars just go by their government? From Kansas City. Okay. So Sean surprised her hometown team. Oh, that's cute. That's really nice.
Yeah. How do you think they met, Rory?
I would imagine Sean is like next level now quietly, if that makes sense. Like they did a Hot Ones SNL as Beyonce. Like Sean is next level, even though it may appear like he's just does internet shit. He's not. He's out of here. I think maybe he met at one of these showbiz parties in the hills. Like where all the elites hang out and then porn stars go there as well. And maybe they just hit it off. Maybe she was by the food table and was eating a wing and Sean just swooped in as the expert and he just knew.
I got another sauce.
He just
for
saw
that
her eating a
wing.
wing and was like, well, here's my chance for a one-liner.
Do you think Pornhub will make a skit or a scene featuring their version of Sean Evans? So I'm picturing, if I were to cast and direct this, I would cast Johnny Sins to play Sean Evans.
Not me.
No, not you, no. Because we want people to watch it.
Is it because I'm starting to grow my hair out?
It's the hair, yes.
I will buzz my head again if I can play Sean in some type of Pornhub situation.
But you do know in this scenario, you'd have to fuck a white woman.
Oh, she's white?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was like maybe light-skinned Latina.
You're out. She's white.
Yeah, that would be tough. But then again, actually, it would be perfect because I would be there to do a job. Like I wouldn't look at it as like, this is some sexual type of thing. I'm here to be an actor, to be a thespian, to bring the best possible performance that I can bring to this situation. Do you guys have any women in mind that would play her? Because I still want to be respectful to Sean. I'm not suggesting she would be in the scene.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a woman who plays MILFs.
Oh, I would have to be in a MILF situation. We wouldn't just be at Buffalo Wild Wings. Like she wouldn't work there.
Ooh, I like that scenario.
Because remember, there was the viral KFC porn. That was years ago, though. But it still pops up on Twitter every now and then. It was a real porno they shot it was in Popeyes. In Popeyes. It was a real thing.
That's fucking amazing.
Or like, what if I show up to the complex office and she's like the receptionist?
Yeah, but that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's the lighting in there too lends itself. It's very casting couch lighting in there.
But I'm just not sure if, no pun intended, I might be too vanilla for where they want to take it. Like, you know how they have like milk on the side for Hot Ones? Because that helps. Like, what if we're setting up a scene and they're like, oh, we need milk. And then because she's doing the MILF thing, but I've drank breast milk before. So I am prepared for it.
I think you're quietly in training. You don't even know it yet.
Which part?
This could be your big break.
Because I didn't do well with the spicy wings on stage for our live show. So those we're going to have to tone down if I'm about to. And eating spicy wings and then doing like porn type sex. Then I'm going to end up like Mole.
Yeah. Adding Da Bomb in the bedroom sounds like an awful idea.
Eating hot wings and then going.
Just dabbing a wing. I'm just imagining in a girl's asshole. just licking hot sauce out of an ass.
Because you got to feel like we've all ate some really spicy food and paid for it later on.
Yeah.
Doing that the way you guys were telling me about how women were chugging beer through their assholes and how it went
boofing,
directly into their bloodstream. Imagine doing that with hot sauce. That'd be rough. But anyways, Sean, if you're Cool that I know Julian's trying to set up the Law and Order version of porn here, where they just take a current moment and do a whole episode about it. I just don't think porn has got there yet. Are you trying to be the Dick Wolf of porn?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I think it exists. They've been scenes. I feel like everything. Yeah, they do that. They do that.
They have like lookalikes where they'll say, "Oh, this is like her," but like Law and Order, like when the Chris Brown Rihanna thing happened, there was an episode in 2 weeks that was R&B superstar beats up another R&B superstar. Like they do that all the time. I think it'd be great if porn did that, and I think they should start with Sean because Adam 22 went reality TV route. We can go scripted.
That's
like
true.
we can Rel can really produce this thing. We have a house in the hills. It is Valentine's Day.
Damn, I was gonna make a really dark joke.
It's fine. We're here.
I was gonna say if you want to really up the notch, you could go the Kevin Spacey Epstein route, raise the stakes.
I take it back.
You might.
I was like, oh, Maul's not here. Maybe me and Julian can have some of the combos we have off air that we only find funny. But you went too far. Way too far.
But like hidden in the
calling
hills,
it "Let Me Be Frank" would be hilarious.
Come on.
Is dating porn stars like a thing now?
Yeah, because they're people.
No, of course. I'm not saying.
Rory, can't believe you would say that about women.
I'll reword it.
Strong women.
The way the rappers went from never having a girlfriend ever to now you need a girlfriend to have a successful rollout. Is that happening with porn stars? Like they're being wifed and it's a rollout with things. There's like celebrity porn couples now.
Yeah, I would agree. So you're saying it would become more from the porn stars seeking. Like I know, like who in this situation are you saying this is a better look?
More so celebrities getting together to leverage their celebrity even more. I'm not saying that they're not in love or anything, but
yeah,
we've seen it in PR forever. Are they doing that now with porn stars and it's not looked at weird? And I'm not here to say it should be or whatever. Love is love. I was on Adam 22 side when you guys weren't. But it's pretty acceptable now. Like everyone just kind of strolled past that and was like, oh, didn't expect that today. No one's outraged. When in the past, I feel like people would have been.
Yeah, I think
the stigma's gone, maybe just because average girls do porn on OnlyFans.
I was gonna say, like I think OnlyFans neutralized the look or the public perception of what porn is. I think now it's like a level playing field, and there's like a level to it, whether you're going to Pornhub, like signing with the majors, or you're going independent OnlyFans. I think it's so normalized and just a part of our social ecosphere that it's looked less. And even shit on Instagram now, you see a titty. Twitter, you're seeing someone getting stretched out. Like it's just we're so desensitized. It's like, oh, your girl does porn. That's her job. Doesn't make a difference.
I mean, how fast that changed from like when that first year on Instagram when we would see like women that were models and known wearing thongs online. It was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Then that turned into just any chick, she could work at Trader Joe's and you go on Instagram and she'll be in a thong. And it's fine. There's no stigma to it. It's cool. It's just ass. That rushed, I think, all the way to wifing a girl on OnlyFans is totally fine. But they'd still judge the porn stars. And to me, that's worse.
Why?
Because at least she's a star. Like she takes her craft for real. I'm not hating on the indie labels, but your girl is no different if you're wifing a girl that's fucking people on OnlyFans and is DMing guys back and forth all day, taking requests.
Don't say that.
Fucking other dudes. Like, I'm not, people love who they love. I'm saying that, where's the difference?
No.
Because I've seen people be totally fine with wifing a girl that does OnlyFans and then would look at someone like Adam 22 like they're insane. And I think that's a
big leap from Adam.
The amount of rappers and the amount of Twitter personalities, the amount of podcasters, the amount of people that were judging Adam 22, I would say half either were dating an OnlyFans girl or had dated an OnlyFans girl.
I think there's still a level of anonymity with an OnlyFans girl, like depending on how popular she is. But she's not, again, to the point of being independent versus major. If your girl is signed to like Brazzers or Pornhub, her face is like on the homepage. She's on the banner. Like there's more visibility to it. That brings the negative stigma.
So you don't respect the sanctity of a relationship. You only respect a paywall? Because if it's behind a paywall, my girl can go crazy.
No, I'm saying I'm not talking money because both are getting paid. Yeah. And I honestly, more often than not, the OnlyFans, the independent women are making more money because they owe a lot less.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, public perception wise, if I'm a casual, if I'm me, literally me, if I'm going to Pornhub and I'm seeing my homie's girl, like her face in 10, 20 different scenes on this site, but it's a free site, I would look at it differently than it's like, okay, I know my homie's girl does porn, but it's a link on her Twitter or whatever. And even if I click that link, I can't access it unless there's more barriers.
So it's only public perception, then you think?
I think, I don't know.
Which is weird. No, I hear what you're saying.
But it's like, for me, it's like the OnlyFans girl is like, it's 2 clicks, a credit card information, and then you have access. Whereas Pornhub, it's just, I refresh a tab and they're there.
And it's probably a public perception thing. And I'm not saying that's all derives in insecurity. I just think that's human beings. Because like I know guys that are in loving relationships with women that used to quietly escort. They're not escorting anymore. They're not cheating. They're away from that life. But no one really knew they were an escort unless you knew someone that paid for the sex.
Yeah.
Because women are quietly doing that. And there's plenty of guys that are judging even the dudes that wife OnlyFans girls whose girls past is escorting. They just did it quietly. I guess it's, if no one knows, then it's cool.
I'm learning a lot about that in New York. I went on a date a while ago with a girl who does that. And she was, the husband was married with 2 daughters, and he was like in finance, and they had a hotel room that him and his partners would just hold for the day.
Yeah.
And they would go in like shifts and just fuck these escorts and send them on their way. But it was very professional. She didn't know his name. Her role was to stay in the lobby. He would meet her in the lobby. They'd go up, and she would it'd take an hour out of her day, get a few $1,000. It was her rent money, literally. She'd cover rent in the matter of an hour's time. And it was so like scheduled. And it was so, for her, it was so much less about the sex. It was just a job. It was like, oh, I have a lunch meeting.
Yeah.
That's kind of how she looked at it. And I was fascinated. I spent the entire day just asking her questions about how that went. She goes, you'd be surprised. Like 90% of my girlfriends do it. She was saying like, it's so much more common than you think.
It's very, very common.
Yeah.
Women that you've met, talked to, and are like associates with, you would never know.
Yeah.
Unless they told you. Now to the lowest form of male shame in this conversation.
I fucked her for free, by the way.
Congrats.
Thanks. Happy Valentine's Day.
I'm actually sure that felt like, it must have boosted your ego a bit.
Well, is this that?
It's definitely a stat. It's definitely a stat.
I mean, I bought her a glass of wine. I paid $14.
Well, I wouldn't consider that paying for sex, but with that said, the lowest form there is women that are not even really being paid per se, that they are just fucking for trips and material items.
Sure.
Like, she didn't get paid to go to Turks, but she was flown there to fuck and then be sent home.
I know a girl doing that
and
right now.
Is that worse than a woman that did it professionally? I'm just trying to look at all the shame of men and how our brains work. It's very unique to me.
I think it's less about the men. I think it's more about how the women want to be perceived. Because like I have girlfriends that are very like have the job, do it. They're normal, publicly perception, but they'll spend 2 weeks in Switzerland skiing, and they'll post 1,000 stories a day. They'll be upfront with me. Hey, this guy that I've been seeing flying me out. You'll never see the guy in these posts. Whatever. Post 1,000 Instagram posts. Do the whole thing as if you did this solo trip. But it's like
that's extremely
2
common.
weeks of that.
And like I've said on this podcast before, I forgot what the topic was, but we were something similar to this. And I was like, if you were a 22-year-old girl and a professional athlete offered to fly you private to Turks, all expenses paid, like you wouldn't take that?
Damn, I would
like that. Like that's, I would never judge someone for doing that. Now, if that becomes like your existence in your life and what defines you, now we have a different conversation.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is correct. I'm more speaking to the male shame of how people are looking at Sean, Adam, whatever. There's plenty of women that they would still wife that literally just get flown out to be fucked. It's just an exchange and then come back, and that's fine. But the porn thing isn't fine. It's all in the same spectrum, in my opinion.
I guess.
I know it's a drastic spectrum, but it is still the same.
I think, yeah, you're right. I think it's just the nuance of being open about it versus being a little more, like in the shadows with it. Like you can't, the girls that I know that do this, you can't Google this about them and like they're not available to rent. Like to rent, you'd have to match with them on Hinge or Raya and at least build a relationship there to then say, hey, I'm going to this place for a week. Do you want to come with me?
Yeah. But even then, if they're not on an escort site, they are on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Instagram
the DMs are still open.
The best escort site is Instagram.
With that said, would you not wife Rachel Dolezal because of OnlyFans or because she's unemployed? Because we don't really like bum bitches.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an entrepreneur and have a steady 9 to 5 and then you're doing OnlyFans at night, like whatever that meme is, like do your 9 to 5 and then do your 5 to 9 for your dream. Whatever that shit is.
Chasing your dreams and showing your like feet, like that's your dream.
She's clearly educating the youth. She taught us about transracial. She was heavy on the trans movement for me.
Was she?
I learned that you could be trans dog if you wanted to be. She identified as Black and started, I think, the trans movement outside of gender. Because now I open my IG and there's chicks doing, those weird like podcasts where it's a bunch of men trying to shit on women that are
your Myron guys.
Yeah, but there's a bunch. That's a whole genre.
Yeah.
There was one girl on one of those saying she identifies as a cat and like how she wanted to be courted, and it kept my attention for like 30 seconds. I don't think we get to her without Rachel.
Does she shit in sand? How does that work? How far did they go into that conversation?
See, I should listen to the whole episode because they just did a reel, and she was talking about how she wants to be respected and courted, and then she was barking and meowing in between those sentences.
Does she? Okay.
And then when he asked a simple question that would have been yes or no, she legitimately just barked, like just rough.
But that's
but then I didn't know if it was yes or no.
But barking's not even a cat trait.
She was going back and forth with Cat, and she's Cat Dog from Nickelodeon.
That's a great show.
Really good show.
Cat Dog's so good.
But I think Rachel walked so everyone else could run on 4 legs.
What did Rachel teach? Was it like African studies? I just want to know like what was her background in the classroom?
Well, wasn't she the head of like some chapter of the NAACP or something when she got caught?
Yeah.
If you get fired from the NAACP for not being the first letter in that acronym to then go teach African studies at a school.
The first letter, well, not the first letter. What do you think the first letter stands for? Say it.
Oh, it's national. Never mind. Whatever.
It's the C, Rory.
I don't remember it. Hey, I don't say the word, so how would I know? I don't know acronyms.
Sit at the light.
I just have to guess when the gray color goes down the stoplight to see, if it's bottom gray, I can go.
I don't know, man. I think, what's her goal here? I don't like, didn't they know? Because she had an OnlyFans. That was like
that was a thing for a while.
So how is this school so behind? And she was teaching in Tucson, Arizona. So I don't know if that says anything about that area.
But why are you saying this school didn't know? This school, even if they didn't know about the OnlyFans thing,
they know who she is.
They knew about the transracial thing.
They know who she is.
If they hire her after knowing that, I think they'd be pretty liberal about OnlyFans. Like, that's fine.
So she was the head of the NAACP in Spokane, Washington.
Which, I mean, it was her or...
Shut the fuck up. I said this as a joke. She was a prominent civil rights leader and African studies professor in Washington State. So before she left for Arizona, she was actually teaching African studies. So it was like, what was her lessons? Like how to apply gingerly spray tan?
I don't really like that you brought us into it, but it's cool.
She's like reverse Sammy Sosa.
I mean, she's kind of like our favorite guy in the current civil rights world. They'd make
Oh.
a great couple.
They would be a power couple.
I'm just not saying his name anymore because I get death threats on my Instagram every single time I do.
From
And I kind of
who?
believe them. He has a following.
People ride for him.
Ironically, it's mostly white people.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Like rarely are black people like, hey man, leave him alone. He's for the cause.
yeah, he's a good one.
That ceasefire's going great.
Jesus.
She's had a rough go. I don't know if I want to like completely shit on her.
But it's self-inflicted. Like, how are we?
How is it? She's just entrepreneurial at this point.
I think
we just went from saying that we're not judging the OnlyFans girls. She was trying to make an honest living. She was she was doing what you were doing. You and her are, I think, pretty much the same person.
I am Rachel Dolezal.
You are Rachel.
I identify as Rachel Dolezal. I identify as a white black woman.
And if I remember correctly, after everyone found out she was white, then you said, I'd fuck.
Well, that's why I subscribe to her OnlyFans. Yeah. It's actually her African studies lessons, just naked. That's the OnlyFans content.
I mean, that was in a show. I don't know if everyone remembers like real basic cable, the black box with the red numbers, like that far back. Whatever, I think it was channel 72, whatever Spice Network was on. They used to do this thing called Naked News.
Oh my God, I love Naked News.
Why is that not? Is it because people don't care about news or just everyone's naked?
Do you think the weather app being on your phone has changed? Yeah, kind of. Because now I don't need to look. I don't need to watch someone else tell me. I can just pull this thing out of my pocket.
But I mean, the way they do the fake news agenda on both sides, I'd probably buy even more into it if she was butt ass. Like you would capture me a little bit more than Don Lemon did.
Univision
like,
does
even
it
the way
right.
like Sean Hannity.
Isn't that what it's called? Univision? Univision? The Yomi's correcting my botch Spanish.
Yeah, like,
Univision.
whatever Sean Hannity says, you're not going to get me because I hate his face and I just hate his existence. If you put a girl ass naked that looked great and spewed the same bullshit, I don't know if I'm going to fully believe it, but I'm going to watch.
Fox
I'm going to listen, and I may absorb some of your talking points.
Isn't that what Trump's Speaker of the House was there for? That fucking blonde bimbo? What
Is
was
that
her
like
face?
a
Caitlyn.
The new Monica Lewinsky?
She was the speaker. She was like, it was just a pretty face that was just spewing his awful rhetoric.
Oh,
but I
think that's like his lawyer.
No,
he has some young hot lawyer.
I mean, I'm sure he does. He keeps one around. No,
and I felt so misogynistic when she popped up on Value Team. It was like, she's a lawyer?
It's like Legally Blonde. It's like,
and she's super intelligent, which is even more offensive because I was like, she's so well spoken.
I think the only channel that's doing weather right is Univision because it's just the baddest Mexican women that like you're just stacked.
Yeah,
Well,
they've been on that for
South
quite some
American
time.
women, Hispanic women.
Don't they have like naked commercials in Italy and France or is that just something I saw on Eurotrip and assumed that was true?
I feel like that's Euro Trip. I don't know. Sex culture out there is so much more accepted and commonplace. Like in Amsterdam, I've talked about this before. Red light district. You can like go get a coffee, fuck a whore, and then go run a company in 20 minutes.
How you start every day.
It's so nice. That's currently what Maul's doing. That's why he's not here. So Maul's in Amsterdam.
Well, speaking of rough weeks for white women, losing their jobs and relationships, friend of the show, Bobbi Altoff. Is that her last name? Salute
today, the young Dolph.
Bobbi Altoff, who still, for some reason, is getting interviews every other day.
What do you mean for some reason? We know why.
The bit has been beat into the fucking ground after the third episode. Funny Marco was great. Drake was great. Quavo was funny. Mark Cuban was cool for like a second. And then after that, it was downhill.
But now she's getting interviewed more than people coming on her show. Like that one with Keke Palmer, and Keke was like, "Yo, are you an industry plant?" She was like, "Yeah,"
which was cool.
Which like,
but that's the only way to combat the narrative is to lean into everything and do it with Keke Palmer. The thing she did with what's the girl name that Osiris assaulted?
Oh, dude,
on camera. Suki.
Oh, yes, that's a great clip.
Is it? Because to me,
Don't
you
call
ran
me,
that you ran that bit into the ground so much with the dry humor that now you're blatantly doing bad writing.
Is that dry humor though? I think
they're trying to switch. You could easily see how fake that was.
You think that was fabricated?
Yes. There's not a single doubt in my mind that Suki heard the word musician and kept saying musician. They even fucked up the bit in the middle of the bit to prove how fake it was. I'm a magician. She said musician and then went to magician. And she kept going back and forth. It was an awful bit. And that's what they're now going to. Oh,
it's crushing.
I know it's crushing. It'll continue to.
I don't know. I liked it. I fell for it. Call me stupid. But like most things, once you have your big break, all of your intimate relationships fall apart. So she filed for divorce from her husband.
2 kids, which is unfortunate. Do you think it had to do with her success?
Yes.
Why?
She's entered a whole different. She has access on another level. And I get it. If you're a real couple, bring him up with you and put him in. But I just think she's so out of here. The success kills that meteoric of a rise. It's tough. Okay. You become a part of the system rather than in your previous life.
Let's do gender stereotypes for it. Typically with a man elevating with success out of nowhere, if they have a wife and kids, that would typically break up because now he has access to more women. Women that didn't want to sleep with him before now want to sleep with him. I don't know if that could be the case with Bobbi, and I'm not saying anything against her looks. Men and women are different. Husband filed for divorce. Do you think it's because she's too busy to not be around her kids?
Could be that.
Or do you think the access she has now of other people did it? And I know women do that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna put that on Bobbi's jacket that she got all the success and then went and cheated.
To the point of
the way typically a man would do with success.
But to the point of the success happening, like she's not, and I'm not even saying personality wise, I just mean lifestyle wise. She's not the person that he married in the sense that she was on TikTok. She was shooting shit at home. It was all in the house, whatever. Now, like her schedule, her availability, like just her being around the kids and him is probably far less than what that was for their whole time together. So maybe that's the compromise. It's like, maybe we sleep in the same bed a week out of the month. Like before we were a nuclear family, and now it seems like because you're so successful, I hardly have these moments with you and the kids.
And how long has it been since the Funny Marco interview?
I don't know.
Less than a year. So to me, to get to divorce in less than a year outside of like a crazy thing like being caught cheating or whatever, there has to be issues there already. Well, like a divorce doesn't happen typically in less than a year.
She said,
unless he went through the phone and saw some wild shit.
She said, although our relationship as husband and wife didn't work out, we will always be friends and I will always love him. So like publicly, it's amicable. Like I think it could just be one of those things where it's like, let's co-parent. We obviously are financially set to make sure our kids are comfortable and get what they need. But
now if no one's around, it's even more difficult with the kids.
I think
because if he was working and she was working, they have money so they get a nanny. But divorce isn't going to make that better.
I think I read at one point. I think he's a vice president or something of some software engineer.
I'm sure
as well.
Yeah,
but I think. I don't know. I would assume based on her schedule, I think he would probably have the kids more.
Yeah. What do you think that though?
I don't know.
No, if he has a VP of a software company, I'm sure he has more of a 9-to-5 schedule where, if they're in Cali, I'm sure she shoots most of her interviews in LA.
Shoots most of her stuff here.
At what clip? Maybe one a week, if that. Yeah. Is it that? Crazy
her output it's not bi-weekly or anything like that. It is pretty manageable to have a life with a family.
Or did he just take one for the team for all men out there? She shot up in a year financially and he went after her money.
He went for half?
Yeah. Maybe all. Because he's used to a certain lifestyle now.
Altoff. He wouldn't do that. I don't know this guy at all.
Dude, I can just tell by the men that Bobby goes after that. If he did,
Yeah, you can't go. You can't go for all. That's not. Can you?
Women try.
But like more often than not, like half is this.
But like if they split up the assets, like what if he goes after her back catalog?
He gets the TikTok.
Because that would be crazy. Like we've seen wives get the Dodgers in divorces. Like I feel like he could go after that Funny Marco interview. That's what I'd go
he
after.
He gets a YouTube rev.
Because I think I'm sure he has a good salary at that job. Because I know she was making jokes, but she was always saying before that she didn't have a job and she was poor and this and that. I think there was probably some truth to that, and her husband was the breadwinner.
Yeah, of course.
How do you fall out with Funny Marco when he put you on? That's crazy. But if I'm her husband in court, keep everything. I'm going after each interview right here. I need half of that interview. Any brand deal that comes, I need half.
I would, if I'm him, I would go to her talent agency and try to get a percentage of that.
And I think that'd be an easy custody battle too, because he seems like he would have the more stable life for the kids.
That's what I'm saying.
So now he can really go nuts.
Because she's obviously too busy. She's occupied. She's putting on the gloves and taking punches from Ryan Garcia in his fucking 24 pack. Like she's clearly outside.
We've seen a lot of nasty breakups where people immediately do something on the internet. Shit, just when we watched the Cardi and Offset breakup, which was unfortunate because they just gave us way too much business about their personal lives. Both of them were trying to one-up each other for that entire week via IG. Bobbi is like Bowser to that shit. She literally put on some gloves to take punches from a boxer and then ran around a couch at half speed. And she wanted to be caught. Remember like when you were young and flirting with a girl, like, and she's like, oh gosh, no. But like she wanted you to catch her.
Yeah.
She barely made, like I clocked it.
There's a video where Roy's referring to.
That was like a 10-second 40-yard dash.
She's wearing gloves, a sports bra, and boxing shorts. And Ryan, who remember, Ryan recently, a month or two ago, divorced his girl. Well, didn't even divorce her. I don't even think they were married. Broke up with his girl and announced it the day he posted that they just had another child.
Yeah.
That was his recent. So do you think this is like the divorce single collab of the year?
Power couple of it all. Oh, thank God he was. Well, with the kids, he could lose a lot. Bobbi has more to risk, I think. She's on paperwork. Too. I might lay low for a second and interview a few more girls if I was Bobbi. Going straight to a professional boxer that clearly shows outside of the ring he's just as lethal.
Who do you think?
And the way she ran to get caught, that's where I think you have to play it smart. You have to play it smart in any type of breakup, I feel like these days, because everyone can't wait to just find some shit to expose or like screenshot, whatever. When it comes to marriage, though, I feel like you just have to step on every eggshell possible. Coming out the gate doing that, you're losing leverage and you're pissing off the person that you have to battle with.
And it's like at this point, I would assume
go interview Meryl Streep.
I would assume if they're announcing it, it's finalized. But just speculatively, at this point, are the divorce papers even inked? Are they final? Like, could this be pulled up and used against you in some like character? Like, if I'm her, like you said, lay low, make sure shit is straight before you go out and pop out with these TikTok boxer kids and shit.
I've been pretty hard on Bobbi since I saw the bit getting a little dry.
Yeah, you call her Adolf.
I just thought that's how you pronounce her name. That is a name, you know. Like that is a name.
Yeah. It was. It's no longer.
There's a town in Argentina where there's a bunch of them. I would respect Bobbi and take back all my hate for her and truly look at her as a professional comedian and entertainer if she had her ex-husband on the pod and started it with, so you didn't like the marriage? And stayed in character through an entire divorce settlement.
Return to her roots.
Then to me, she's Larry David.
That'd be a good bit.
That would be great.
She should do that.
And if we're going through a painful divorce, both of us are going to need money. You get some great brand deals. Let's come together for the kids.
Yeah.
And I'll be in character the entire time. I would sit and watch that and give Bobbi all her flowers. She's not an industry plant. That's a fucking professional
Do it
comedian.
in the same bed they did the interview with Drake in.
That wasn't Drake's bed?
It was. Go to Drake's house. Well, shit.
He's on tour.
There were rumors.
She may know the gate code.
There were rumors.
Oh, was it Memphis? Okay.
Oh, nice.
Really? For those that can't hear you, I'm saying that was on a basketball court that they made a set of an actual bed. They fooled me. All right, now that wasn't Drake's bed, now I'm looking at that interview a little fucked up. Why was the treatment us being in a bed? I could see if he was like, yo, I'll do this interview, but you have to come to my crib.
Pull up at the crib, yeah.
Which artists do often. And I could be like, yo, it'd be funny if we just like laid in the bed. But to find a basketball court in Memphis when neither of them live in Memphis and then go, let's find a California king bed and not even show the basketball court.
And then obviously shortly
just rent a hotel suite.
Shortly after that, the rumors that they hooked up. Yo, this all could be, I feel like everything's connected. The rumors happen that they hooked up, the Drake leaks happen, and now the divorce.
You're saying Bobbi had that video in her phone and she leaked the Drake video?
No, I'm not. Shit, fuck it.
Wait,
yeah.
What bed was Drake in?
Because no, so that was on his plane. I think the leak came from because you could hear the low hums of a jet engine.
That was on a plane.
While he's
his...
helicoptering his dick, you can hear the of Air Drake.
Drake, I'll never discredit your music again.
It's fucking hard, right? It's a pause.
Whoa.
No.
I still haven't seen the video.
No.
To know it was on his plane is fucking crazy.
It's such a flex. You got that good of Wi-Fi? Like, come on, bro. He's different.
Also, if I have a plane, I don't know if I'm going to be alone. Like, if I have a bed in my plane.
Yeah, but if you're on tour.
Oh, because it's so limited out there when you're on tour for women.
But I'm just saying.
Damn. Must have been a drought.
Say he was leaving a city. You watched Dave.
Yeah, of course.
So remember, not to the level obviously with the airplane, but remember when they brought that girl on the bus? They're in the one episode. It was the last season. They brought a girl on the bus and they brought her to the next city because she wanted it.
Okay, yeah.
And then they were like,
when Gator had a sex addiction and yeah.
And they were like, well, shit, what do we? Now what with her? I know Drake probably won't run into that issue. He could just send her ass home on a commercial flight, but that's also a thing. It's like
it's an extremely common thing with tours.
Bringing a girl to the next stop.
Yes, extremely common. Like really, really, really common.
That would give me too much anxiety,
especially if you have a lot of dates and you're doing a bus shit where you're driving in that day, performing, and then you have to drive to the next city. Yes. That is extremely common.
If I leave Philly.
But then it gets awkward because then there's some girls that like think that that's not common. And they're like, oh, I'm on the tour now. No, you are from St. Louis to Chicago.
Yeah. Here's your Chinese bus ticket to get back home. Like, that's the thing. It's like I would imagine if you're bringing a girl to the next city, it means you didn't beat in the city where the show was. You
didn't have time. Or yes, I have seen that occurrence with the guys on the tour that, aren't they're not on stage per se. Like they're not the ones women are looking at.
Yeah.
Outside of like the main act, there are, the DJ, maybe the hype man. There are, just the manager in the back that no one can see, doesn't get as much pussy. And then he finally finds a girl that he thinks he could fuck and doesn't, then brings them for the next 2-3 cities until he fucks.
That's sick. Bringing her for 3 dates.
Yeah. No, we're in a relationship. If you're going 2 tour dates with me, we go together. Like, what are we doing for Valentine's Day?
So my thing is like, once you get the nut off, go home. You got to go back to St. Louis.
But I also see both sides because I'm a nesting creature. As much as I've had my whore times, like, I'm not just the randoms all the time.
But I'm not even saying find a
I'm
body
not
in
cuffing everything, but I like to, be with them for some time rather than one random night.
Which
I know makes me
yeah.
really gay and uncool.
No, you are. It's
But-
fine. It's Valentine's Day.
I could see myself being that guy on the tour bus that everyone's looking at like, yo, bro, we're already in Nashville. Like she's still here.
But also, if you're on the bus,
He picked her up in Seattle.
the homies are shitting on the bus and stuff. Like that's the thing. It's
No
more
one shits
like
on the bus.
some people shit on the bus. There's always one person that shit. The rule is no one shits on the bus. Someone always shits on the bus.
Nah, just go to the rest stop.
You're gonna tell her, "Hey, girl from Minneapolis, go in the rest stop in Tennessee."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's some wet wipes.
Yeah.
Go do your thing. Everyone shits. I
You're gonna
understand.
send her into the sheets.
But
No.
now that I think about that, when it comes to like a random girl you just meet, that is kind of the last thing on your mind of like, will she have time to shit? Will there be a proper place for
Luckily,
her to do that?
Women don't shit, so she's fine. No, I don't know. I think I would rather get you got to send her home because like I just value the time alone. I just don't want to be accountable for someone else, and it also inconveniences everyone else that's on the bus.
Yes.
I would be
and if you're
thinking
not
more
doing
of
a
my
lot
team.
of hotels, like tour beds are
Awful.
not made for fucking.
No,
That's why
it's like a twin XL.
There's the back where people switch off. But
That's
so
sick.
so I've heard. I promise I did not participate in any of that, but
Just switching off sheets with your man, like knowing what that room is used for. It's the sheets to me.
I mean, but is it not common too for like guys to borrow hotel rooms from their friend? Even on a tour or just a vacation. If people are doubling up in one hotel room, it's like, yo, can I just use your room real quick?
Yeah, but
that
I would
happens.
try to every morning, at least every day or whatever, get the maids to get the service to come in and service the room. So at least there's new sheets or towels available.
There was a few Palooza dates that I came back to the hotel, to an empty hotel room, but I had a roommate and we had 2 beds, and both beds seemed like they were messed up. And
That's selfish.
I was like, I'm pretty sure the maid came. Like, you need to fuck on both beds? Like, I understand you want to show out to a whore that you just met, but like, just put her on the desk. I don't give a fuck. Just don't use my bed too when you have a bed already.
Says the guy that put 2 beds together in a college dorm room and
2 weeks passed, man. That was a super fair thing to do. 2 weeks passed, no roommate. I'm putting the beds together. I don't think that's crazy at all.
I think it's crazy that he didn't say anything.
What was he gonna say?
Or at least be like, yo, fam, I'm not living here. Like, you nutted on my bed.
Also, don't show up at 2:00 in the morning, 2 weeks later into the semester.
That's his right to, though. You can't put him on the clock.
Yeah.
He had that. That was his time. He could just show up whenever the fuck he wanted to.
Nah.
He showed up before classes started.
Late registration is only an album. That's not a real thing. Speaking of groupies on tour buses, I did see a very interesting headline on my way here. Eminem is producing a Stan documentary about obsessed fans. Now, when I first read the headline, I was hoping it was going to be direct shots at our biggest Stan groups like the Barbs, the Beehive, the Navy. Read more into it. It is about his obsessed fans, which I still think is going to be a very interesting doc, where even though it's only going to be about Eminem stans, I think some of the groups are going to have to come to the podium if it's an effective doc to see how, I wish Maul was here to say, this is mental illness.
I agree.
I don't think it's about to show the obsessed Eminem fans the way they show them on TRL. Like, I think it's going to make them look insane.
Yeah, and I agree. If you're an Eminem fan, you're mentally ill. I think they'd start there.
Do you like the song Stan?
I get its cultural value. The video was cool. The treatment for the video was cool.
You don't like the hook?
It's cool. It's a good song. Eminem has made good songs. I just think this whole Stan thing.
So
I think you're right. This will expose the weird, creepy side to that fandom.
And I think Eminem might be the only person that can do this right now. I think this is an extremely important topic to discuss, just obsession in general about people you don't know. But it's at its highest peak. What was the show that Chloe was getting her back blown out in like the first scene?
Oh, damn. That was the Donald Glover. Yeah.
Produced.
Yeah. It was a show about the Beyonce's Beehive fans. Kind of.
They promoted it like it was going to be that, and they sort of touched upon that part of the brain, but not quite there. I don't think any superstar would, one, have the balls or even think it was a smart idea. Swarm was in it. To discuss the possibility of mental illness within your fan base. Like
I see what you're saying.
Nikki could never expose that because those are her, that's her army.
And she's active.
Yes. Like,
Active.
I mean, I'm just going to stay away from Adolf jokes. But a leader is not going to expose his troops in any type of weakness. He's going to utilize them and continue to manipulate them to get to the end goal.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have the same argument we had about that horrible BET Donald Trump freestyle. But my point in making that was that I respected that he made that decision, even though the freestyle sucked. I respect this decision as well. I think this is an extremely important topic that needs to be talked about. And I think M is the only one that could do it. He's cool. If he loses fans, he's fine. And what other artist would do that? Beyonce's not going to talk about the Beehive unless it's in the most positive light ever. And she knows a lot of them probably have a weird obsess.
Yeah, I think to your point, it plays better for legacy acts. We've said Eminem can give the majority of people that would vote for Trump that might identify as his fans a middle finger and be like, none of this bothers me. I'm up a few hundred M's. Pick a side. I don't care. Coffee pot. But like, I think
it's awfully hot, actually.
Yeah. I think this would be cool. Like, I think you're right. I would like this. I think this could be a moment for fans to kind of look themselves in the mirror and check their fandom and loyalty. I would hope, but more often than not, if you're this kind of fan, you're kind of out of the loop.
Now, here's what sucks that it's Eminem. We're going to watch it. All Eminem fans are going to watch it. It's going to do great. It's going to have crazy numbers.
What is the GOAT?
The people I think need to watch it, or the conversation that needs to be had on social media, like, how we do watch parties for the Grammys and the timeline's amazing. Even with certain TV shows and certain documentaries. The people on the timeline that need to watch this and react and come to the podium are not going to see it because it's going to be an Eminem documentary. Like, even if Nicki did something like this, all the fans that hate Nicki would still watch it to then just debate and hate each other. Yeah. Eminem fans, it's Eminem fans and then no one else. Like, there's not people that are, besides you, that sit around and want to hate on Eminem and watch something that you wouldn't watch solely to hate them.
I wouldn't.
Now, Nicki fans, anytime Cardi B breathes, they're going to watch that clip, see everything, and vice versa. Rihanna Navy, even with Beyonce versus a Taylor Swiftie group. Like, there's rivalries between all these hives that needs to be addressed. And if one of them did something, all the other hives would watch it. Eminem's hive just minds their business over here and no one even gives a fuck.
I'm not going to watch this out of hate. I'm going to watch it out of curiosity for the marketing and how this became a thing. Nothing about this is going to change my opinion on Eminem or his music. Probably make it worse. Or his fans, for that matter. I'm more curious about how this stand became a thing and what mobilized. I think it was at the perfect time of the dawn of the internet. We're seeing TRL, like the groupthink dynamic came into play here, like with the whole white shirt and dyed blonde hair. Like, there was so much really smart marketing because so many just average looking Midwest white boys look like him.
Yeah.
And you could all identify and see yourself in this person. And I think they did a really good job of capitalizing on that in his marketing and his music, etc. And I'm curious, I hope they kind of peel that curtain back and show how intentional this was.
I'm sure they will. And M has spoken about that type of stuff in white America. So I know he's not scared to address like, hey, a lot of my success and weird fans is based off the marketing of being a white blonde kid from the Midwest. I guess my point more is, if hypothetically Nicki did something like this and exposed some of the Barbs for probably having a weird obsession that needs to be studied a bit just for humanity, all of the Cardi B the Barty gang would all watch it so they could clown how mentally ill the Barbs are. And I think we need that moment for Barty gang to look in the mirror at the same time.
Yeah, it's
because they're going to watch it and they would clown all the barbs. But then the barbs can turn around and say, you're just as mentally ill. Like, they just broke down how stans are legitimately need to be studied.
Yeah.
This is an obsession and a weird mental illness that we need to fix. No one's going to look in the mirror. That's the only thing I'm saying.
So how do you think
barbs are not going to watch it and be like, oh man.
Well, with that being said, do you think that what conversations do you think will come of this show? Like, what will actually people change? Will anything important come of it, or is this just like a moment passed in time, more of a history lesson?
Again, kind of back to my point of M and his fan base. I think it'll be like his recent albums, where it'll do a lot of numbers, but it won't spark any conversation outside of the Eminem fan base. I think there'll be some write-ups, and of course it's press, like it's Eminem.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it will reach where it needs to reach. And that's the internet stan community for real. That needs to maybe look at themselves in the mirror after watching that doc and say, am I stan from that video? And then I'd love to see the debate on why the stans don't think they're stans.
There's always that angle.
Like, why don't you think you're a stan?
Everyone.
And I've seen some people that aren't fully off the fucking rocker that are like, well, I'm obsessed. This person makes me feel better. I strive to be like them. I like them based off these positive qualities. I like their music. What's the difference? You guys obsess over the Yankees. Like, what's the difference? This is my team. This is the thing I like. And I can see some sense in that on a surface level. But we all know that's not really what, like, they're making fake pages and leaking addresses and trying to get people harmed. Like, that's who I want to come to the podium and say, okay, maybe I am fucked up.
You can stand in a positive way, though. I think that they're standing that, like, I feel like most things, we look for the negative as the headline. I think there's like the doxing side of things, the violence side of things, and like the trolling side. That's what gets a lot of notoriety and attention. But I think there's the way I look at stans, the way I look at like hyper fans in general is the same way I look at people. Yeah, the sports is a good comparison, but also it's to a religious effect.
Sure.
You're looking to someone to lead you and for something to believe in, that to you, it's bigger than you, and you're contributing to a community, the rest of the stans and fans or whoever. And your singular focus is, that's why I think Beyonce and artists like Taylor and even Nicki like are so easy to follow, because they're telling you this, like Beyonce, hey, we did the dance. Now this group as a group, we're country. Now you have to be, we're moving, and you can identify. So now what? They're going to get the boots. They're going to get the hats. Like there's visual aids to enhance the stanness of it. Just, you can become something.
Well, I don't know, because the extremes before, and I hate that we always kind of bring in the point that social media changed everything. Because before you'd get like the Selena head of the fan group that killed her.
The ultimate stan, by the way.
But then also like John Lennon was murdered by somebody that read Catcher in the Rye and was so scared that John Lennon was going to be a sellout and phony that he killed him before he could sell out. That's obsessive stan shit.
Having that book break you. Holden Caulfield was such a pussy.
Oh yeah, no, he's
that
super
character.
pussy.
Like, what are we? That's the character that sent you over the edge to kill John Lennon.
And like the way how pretentious he felt by thinking phony was gonna like hurt anyone's feeling. Like, yo, you're phony. Like, all right, bro.
Ooh, ooh, shit. Get the gun.
Your name's Holden. Shut the fuck up.
Get the gun. You fucking pussy.
Great book though.
Yeah, it's a classic.
That there was always stans, but the most damage they could really do, unless they were doing Selena shit or John Lennon shit, was just buy a lot of t-shirts and follow them on the road.
Yeah.
Now, stans typically are, and we both know I'm not a psychiatrist, but let me pretend. Typically, stans are people that join cults are missing a void in their life. Back to what you're saying, they're trying to be led. They're very insecure, hurt people that are easy to manipulate because they're just looking for something to follow.
Yeah.
That on the internet, that type of human being, once they feel they've joined the cult, is dangerous to everyone else when you can find addresses and harm other artists or anyone that has an opinion in the media that says anything about the artist they like, they can then go threaten their family on Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
it's different now that the internet is here because it gives people so much access to cause so much harm. And even though I am one of the people that's on like the Tyler Creator side of like cyberbullying, just close your phone. That's not how the world works now.
Yeah.
You can really fuck with a young person's brain when they're reading nothing but hateful things on the internet. And it happens to people that have 100 followers that say, I didn't like the Nicki album. And now 100,000 people are finding out where they work.
Yeah, I think
that's the wild shit.
You're right, because with the social media, because prior to the internet era, support more often than not was happening in silence. Whether it be tickets, you go to the show, get the merch, like your bedroom would be covered in shit, but no one else would know. It was just for you, and it was for maybe if you have a girlfriend or a friend or whoever that's in your town that feels the same thing. You share memorabilia, all that. I think what the unhealthy side of the stand in the social media era is the competition to outstand the stands. So now you're like, oh no, I like Beyonce more than you. Like I will. So then it becomes this hyper extreme situation here. But it's like, okay, well, this person that we know talks shit about Nicki. I'm the bigger Beyonce fan than a girl that I'm already friends with. I'm going to prove how much more of a fan I am. I'm going to go beat up that Nicki fan.
Yeah. And it's to prove
that I'm the better fan. Even though we're both standing the same person, I want to show that I care more about this than you do.
And to me, that's where things have changed so drastically after the song Stan came out.
Yeah.
Because that's when it went off the rails, like with all internet shit. Now you can be a fan. I could be a stan before by myself. Now I can be a stan with access to everybody in the world. If I'm that obsessed,
even a casual,
I can project my fandom onto anyone that's just minding their business and going like, I don't really like that song.
Because we share new artists, we talk music all the fucking time, and like there's even incidences with like people that you're close with and people that you're like if you share a song, the first response like, no, I already been on that. It's always like who knew more first, who's aware of something before it became a thing. It always seems like even just being a fan of music is a competitive sport. Like you didn't put me on, I've been on that shit.
And I always hated those fans that like once you loved an artist and then once everyone else found out about him, you're like, I don't really like
that. Oh no, I like Lonnie Bro. Like, all right, bro. Frank, he's still great. Frank's awesome. Like Frank Ocean. Channel Orange and Blondie are fucking incredible.
Yeah, pop music is okay.
Yeah, like what
I like pop music.
I don't like him after he went #1. Why not? He's super rich now. Let him have a successful life.
Those type of fans are just annoying. They're just pretentious and annoying. That's all they are. Like there's always been annoying fans. Now there's harmful fans.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like that person.
Difference.
That person is just like still like I'm still on SoundCloud. Like I'm gonna find the next one. Like you guys call him Frank. Like that's Lonnie. Everyone knows that. Like were you born in New Orleans with him? It's like how the fuck I call him Lonnie. That fan is just annoying as fuck. They've never harmed anyone. They kind of just keep to themselves. This wave, not so much. And you worked at a label. Let's talk about how fucked up it is when the goal now is to gather as many mentally ill people as you can. That's the plan.
Swag.
Like,
yeah, no, it's a fucking amazing.
We need to arm the mentally ill in regards to streaming our artists. You know, in like casual conversations, like, yo, he's got a core fan base. And they're like, oh, that's dope. No. Like that type of core fan base. And then you're like, oh, he's going to be successful for the rest of his career.
The sickest thing is...
And we know what that means.
Yeah, the sickest thing is, and sorry for the stands out there, like I did digital marketing. So the sick thing about it is more often than not, we're setting up all those accounts on behalf of the artist, using their name, using their likeness, whatever, like the community phone lines, the Snapchats, all this shit that you think you're communicating with them on. It's us. Or if it's not me, it's my assistant that's running the account and talking. You're never really talking to the artist.
Tell that to the guys that are subscribing to OnlyFans. They're talking to her manager, who's a man.
They're talking to a man in Arizona. Yeah, what I'll do...
That girl doesn't even know her OnlyFans password.
What I'll do and what I did is, and this is inside baseball, you just text the artist or get on a phone call with them like, hey, bro, can you send me a selfie video of you saying, for the next hour, I'm on my community, swipe up, and they obviously put the link on their story. You tap the link. Oh my God, I'm texting so-and-so. You're not. It's me. and I'm probably taking a shit. You're texting me on the toilet.
And yeah. And
in
you know
a
actually,
windowless building.
You know who actually kind of suffers the most outside of the people that have like their families threatened and addresses put out?
The artist.
Is the regular fan who now almost feels shamed. Like there is no, everything's a felony. There's no misdemeanors or like just that. If you go on Reddit or like go on Discord or like support just something you like, now it's like, yo, you're fucking dick riders, stammers. Like, no, I just like discussing a podcast I listen to with other people that like to discuss it. There's nothing harmful going on.
Yeah.
But doing that, you get that stigma right away. Like there's no gray area. It's either you're not a fan or now you're a stan. We know that's not true, but that's how the internet even says to people if they are like, yeah, no, I'm really into that pod. And like I talk to other people around the country about it and like it's a cool part. Like, are you fucking dick riding stans? Like, whoa. No, I don't care. I don't care about their personal lives like that. I just enjoy the show.
I don't get why that gets such a negative stigma. Like
because of stan culture. It was not a negative stigma before.
But even within our community, like the podcast, like the show, the podcast Discord that we dip in and out of all the time. Like we don't look at anyone like that weird. But it's not even like, oh, there's support. It's just, bro, like you're not talking about weird shit. You're just talking about normal.
Because of stan culture, now regular barbershop banter when you're defending your favorite artist can be perceived as being a stan, when that's not the case to me. You're just debating and talking about artists that you like and are biased about sometimes. That's not standom. It's when you're harming people because they don't like the same thing you like.
So you think the level of...
No pun intended, Discord is okay. Conversation amongst people that like the same thing or dislike the same thing and have a healthy conversation about it. That's not stan shit. That's just being a fan.
But if your definition of stan is inviting harm into the mix, so few people that are probably considered stans do harmful things to others. Really think about it. How much violence or like how much doxing
I think now in these days, especially with a lot of it being young kids, internet bullying is harm. Like the way they fucking destroy kids that have a developing 13-year-old brain that just want to discuss something on the internet, the way they're attacked. I'm not saying their address gets put out or they get fired from a gig. Just having a phone and just seeing everyone destroy your Avi, fucking tell you they hate you. Like all this shit is harmful. And I don't think the regular fan that just wants to go on Discord or wants to defend their artist in a debate is a stan. The stans are the one that are just harming someone because they tweeted, yo, I don't like that song.
Like I've had obsessive relationships with certain artists, but I've never thought about going out of my way to like harm someone else or even bully someone else on the internet because they think otherwise. But I would say less now. Like Kanye for me was a big influence in the Stanny kind of relationship for years, and then Mac Miller as well. But I would never, like I've never crossed my mind to do the harm shit, but I would still consider myself a stan.
It's interesting you say that because even, and we can plug our Patreon real quick. We will have Little Brother on our Patreon for a great interview. We showed a photo of me and Fonte when I was 16.
Yeah.
Him and I are really cool now. In us getting really cool, which, we've known each other for a while outside of me just going to the shows, like on a music business side. That was always in the back of my head of like, I wonder if Fonte thinks I'm a weirdo because like I've been to every foreign exchange show in the city. Like I have a familiar face. I wonder if he thinks I'm weird. That in the beginning of like our association shit outside of me going to shows, like, hey, maybe work on some music together, like pod shit, or we can work now. It was in the back of my mind because of stan culture. I was not that at all. But it makes you think when that's so regular on the internet now that, all right, if he knows I was at every show, I wonder if he thinks I'm just like some weird, obsessed fan. Yeah, it was in the back of my head.
Yeah, but it's different. Like you said, now you have a working relationship. Like that relationship changes. And it's more...
No, and it did. None of that even came up or was ever a discussion or even felt that way. But it was in the back of my brain at the beginning.
Did you ever talk about that?
No.
Because you're very open every time we see them or every time we're with them. You're very open.
Oh, he's well aware of, because even Fonte was big on Twitter when it first started. We all had that Twitter community.
Yeah.
Outside of Fonte being a rapper, he was part of that community. And he knew how I felt about Little Brother. I was just like, oh, every time he's been in New York, I've been damn near front row, like buy tickets, buy merch. Like I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
And I could see with this culture, someone being like, And I think it's actually even a little weirder for artists that aren't as popular because you do run into the same people all the time.
All the time.
Like I don't view it that way when we see a lot of the same people at the shows or like mentions, DMs, IG stories. Like I think it's great. I just think that's a loyal listener. Some people could be scared though, based off how crazy stan culture has gotten that this person, like you're here all the time. Is there something else going on here?
You've had some, I don't know if you want to talk about it here or Patreon, I don't know, but you've had some like people by way of like things that have happened publicly stand in like the negative way. Like they hate you so much that they want to like scout your house or like track your whereabouts and shit like that. So that's another side of I mean, yes, they're not the fan of you per se, but they're still on
they're still a fan. It's just it's the other side.
It's the other side.
Yeah. You're still a fan. You're a fan of negativity in my life. You want to make sure negative things happen to me. That's still a fan.
How often is that? Especially, I mean, I hate to bring her up, and they always complain that we talk about Amara too fucking much. But guess what? No, that's your part of your life. That's our reality. Suck a dick.
I saw on Twitter, I think yesterday, take a shot every time the podcast says Amara.
Yeah,
we'll all be fucked. I'm like, well, you're a lightweight because 3 shots is gonna get you. 2 shots is gonna get you in. Like you're pussy.
But
you're holding in that opinion.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, outside of, I've talked about being one of the few people that admits that internet comments can affect them sometimes and like piss me off. And like, I'm not always like, oh, I don't get it. Like they affect sometimes. I know it's not cool to say it. But that never bothered me to the point of people showing up to my house and like, like sending me fucking photos in the DM of me and my kid walking. Like, that's where things start to get. Your Reddit comments are fine. Just wish death upon me over there, because now I'm going to shoot you. Like that's where things differ.
Yeah, but But I'm saying, did your energy change with the "I'm going to shoot you" approach? That wasn't the same thought process pre-Amara, even though they still want harm on you.
It was before because I'd had people come to my house before, well before Amara, and. Yeah, at that point, I'm
pull up.
I'm so sick. I was like, do it again. I'm mad I missed you. see that garage there? That first closet is full.
Don't Rory, they know where you live.
No, they can't get in that lockbox. And they're also upstairs too. So I'd love to have a gentleman's duel on the steps if you'd like. If you can get into that's safe.
Yo, speaking of that, a gentleman's duel, that era, imagine like in the Hamilton days, like your life is on the line. And not just your life, like your kids, the whole family, obviously rest on your hands. And you're going to put your life in the mutual respect that you and this other random dude that you don't fuck with are going to take 3 steps in the opposite direction before turning around and shooting. Would you take those 3? Fuck the steps. Just shoot the guy. What is that? I never understood that the gentleman's duel. Fuck being a gentleman. He's trying to kill you. Shoot him.
All the stands that get super upset and think I have white guilt, you can skip past this part. I think that proved like how dumb white people truly are. Because before we tried to invade America and there was the French and Indian War, and like when we learned guerrilla tactics from the Native Americans, we were standing and looking at each other and say, 1, 2, 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's how dumb white people were. And then the Native Americans and Mel Gibson were like, yo, like, what if we hide?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What if I hide and then I shoot you?
Yeah. How about we don't write each other menacing feather pen letters and say meet at this field at high noon.
Yeah.
Fuck the field. No. Like I'm pulling up. I'm gonna ambush you from behind in the bushes and fucking knock your whole team out.
And of course, I know there's strategy to that war, but like, it is kind of luck of a draw. If we're standing there, all right, now you shoot. All right, bet I have to reload. Now you shoot.
It's like playing knockout.
Like,
did you get your layup off? No, fuck that, bro. I'm throwing your ball on the other end of the court. I'm shooting you in the face immediately.
Yeah. How could that solve things?
I just
it's a really weird strategy to solve things. But I think we're kind of back to it, no? It's weird how everything comes full circle. That's how war started, of just lining up. You shoot your musket, I shoot my musket, and who's ever left gets to go to Virginia. We're kind of back with drones to that style. In between there, World War II, World War I, Vietnam. We're in the trenches with strategy, trying to hide and outflank people and all this other wild shit.
Yeah.
We're back to the Civil War. We just got a drone and we just hit, and then, okay, you send your drone, and then we'll send our drone.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we'll threaten you with a nuke. It's not a feather pen letter, it's an email, but your citizens will stand there, we'll drop something. Then we'll send another unmanned plane to drop some more shit. We're back at it.
True. Dude, should we play voicemail?
We can get to voicemail.
You've got mail.
In the spirit of what's this holiday? Valentine's Day. Here's a callback for someone that needs some help.
Hey, it's Nick from Baltimore. Fuck that last recording. How y'all deal with your first heartbreak? I'm 22. Yeah. See y'all.
A lot of detail.
I feel like I told my first like real heartbreak, like not when I was like in middle school and was like, oh, she didn't like me. I took the bus from Jersey City to Fort Lee, which is only local. Takes about Jersey City, for those that don't know, Jersey City to Fort Lee, when it's not crazy traffic, you can get there 20 minutes, 15 minutes if you speed like an idiot like me. On the bus, it takes about 3 hours the way it goes. After my first heartbreak on Valentine's Day, after she broke up with me, probably 2 weeks prior to that, wasn't like she gave me any hope, like where she was still texting me. You know, sometimes when there's a breakup, you can see yourself getting back. 'Cause they're leaving it open. People are texting each other, still checking in on you.
Yeah.
No communication. Cold turkey.
What led that? Did you fuck up, or was it she backed? What happened?
It had been like a couple of things. Definitely my doing with the fuck ups. She was very much right. It wasn't just one specific thing. It was just constant bullshit with me. I wasn't fully committed, not on some cheating shit. I just wasn't fully committed to the relationship.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I treated it like it was like I was just talking to her, but yet I said we were in a relationship. So I take the 3-hour bus ride on Valentine's Day with
That's sick.
with flowers, chocolate, Subway cookies, because she really likes Subway cookies.
Those do hit.
They are great.
They're fucking great.
I thought I was in love because I resisted the urge to eat the Subway cookies on the 3-hour bus ride. She was into Hennessy. I'm sorry. It was a different time. I had some Henny as well.
This is a sick gift
and no,
basket.
this is the sickest part. A DVD she left at my apartment that she told me in the midst of the last time we spoke to keep it. Like, I was like, oh, you don't want your stuff? And she was like, keep it. I brought the DVD, like, now I'm gonna bring her DVD back.
What was it a copy of?
It might have been Drumline. I don't know.
Director's cut. Another
Yeah, they
Nick
did the
Cannon,
commentary at the
and
end.
another Nick Cannon snare solo at the end.
So I get up to Fort Lee, and I knew how to get into her building, not in like a creepy way, but I knew the side doors that were open. But she lived with her mom, so
Jesus.
I'm getting up to her floor and her mom is walking out. And her mom was aware and like we had a cool relationship. She said, let's go. Let's go. I said, what? I just wanted to drop this stuff. She's like, nope. Nope. I'm going to do the best thing that's ever happened to you right now. I'm like, what? So we get to her car and she's like, I'm going to drive you back. I was like, no, it's fine. While she's driving me back, she is explaining to me, and this is how kind of harsh, and I'm not making any stuff. She's like, just look at it as a piece of pussy. My daughter does not like you. She's not going to get back with you. You're showing up here now is making it worse. View this as a piece of pussy and move on because it's not going anywhere and you're going to make this 10 times worse for yourself if you keep doing this. Because I was texting her too with no reply. Like, that was the first show up. But, you know, it was Valentine's Day.
How long did you eat the cookies in the car or when you got home?
Oh, no. I didn't. Her speech didn't hit me until way later. I thought there was still hope. I left everything in her car. I know her mom ate the Subway cookies, probably kept the Henny and threw everything else out. Or maybe she kept Drumline. I don't know.
You don't throw out Drumline, yeah.
But yeah, and I just thought that was like the most gangster shit ever to talk about your daughter that way, but it's really to try to help me. Like, it's not going to happen. She was protecting her daughter's peace while telling me, view it this way. Maybe not the most sound advice, but some gangster advice.
Well, how'd you get over it?
I feel like Maul would talk to me that way.
For real, yeah, definitely.
Like, it's a piece of pussy. Move the fuck on.
Well, okay, well, that being said, how did you ultimately get over it? Because this our young 22-year-old here.
I don't even consider it a first heartbreak now. Time, you have to give time. I got over it eventually and realized like I was more obsessed with the heartbreak and the idea that she no longer wanted to be with me than that relationship. Like, I got over it not super quickly, but once I was over it, I viewed it like I never even loved that girl. I just loved the idea of it, and my ego got hurt when she was the one that broke up with me. Then I wanted to take it seriously. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's going to end up viewing it that way. Maybe he truly does love this person. But when you're that young, sometimes you view things as love that are not love. They're just love for the moment. You get over it, and once it's over, it's over. Like, you don't even think about it at all with those first heartbreaks.
Yeah, I guess. Similarly, my first relationship was like 2.5 years, but I was in college, and it felt real at the time, obviously.
Yeah,
and
for sure,
just different ways. But I don't know. There's something about when I hear 22, you're not an adult. There's so much life and experience, and just stuff that happens to you, not just like career wise, and even in that regard, just experience wise and personal growth wise. Where it's like I'm skeptical or weary of people that not date at that age. Dating's fine, but like that, like lock in and they're like, this is my person, and that just so much happens to someone.
And when you were asking earlier, like what I did, it's kind of to what you were talking about. I wasn't like a shithead. I was just so focused on other things at 22, whether it was career shit, friend shit, experience shit, that I was dumb enough to think that I should also have a relationship at that time and did not balance them out well at all. Everything else took precedent over it. And she was just like, well, I'm not doing this. Like, this is stupid. But that 22 brain of like, no, like, I'm going to eventually marry her and like, this is the one. And yeah, it sucked for 8-9 months after the breakup. Like, it did suck. But once again, I was over it. I realized that was not a relationship. Even the way I treated it wasn't a real relationship. So you kind of get over that first heartbreak if you add perspective to it of what you were doing. And that's not everyone's situation, but even if you're the one that, let's use the cheating thing. Let's say you're 22 and your first heartbreak is because you got cheated on.
You got cheated on, or you cheated?
Yeah, so let's do that scenario.
Okay.
You want to be in a relationship with someone that cheated on you at 22 and like don't think that that's going to continue throughout the rest of your 20s? Like, you have to put perspective to it for the rest of your life when you're in your 20s, which is an extremely hard thing to do.
That's
very mature thing. But you can have that thought in your head if you're having that heartbreak. Like, how was I treated this way? Because you're young as fuck. And do you think continuing on with this type of behavior is going to have some magical turn when you guys turn 23?
I mean,
It's like it's not
preaching
going to
the
change.
choir. You mentioned it earlier, and I feel like it's a line that like a lot of men in particular get off. And I have had this conversation, like the self-evaluation moment of for so long, and still today, I'll do this isn't right for me. I still have to figure out. I'm so invested in what I'm trying to do with my career and the person I want to be. Then I always like try to think about it from like an outsider's objectively, from like a omniscient perspective. Like, okay, wait a minute. What is the comfort level? Like, what is the baseline goal for me to be satisfied with who I am, whether it be financially, career-wise, the things that I've been prioritizing, to then be like, okay, these boxes are checked. Now let me commit and prioritize someone else. Because I've been thinking this for my adult life. And it's like, when is that? There's no singular it's not lost on me that there is no singular moment that's going to be like the turnkey. Now you're ready. And I just don't know how to break that mold.
And
this is becoming very therapeutic.
It's funny. Back to Stan culture, because I'm a Jay-Z stan. That second verse of Lost Ones, which people assumed he was talking about Beyonce, of like, if I was 23, I would probably love my work more than I did she, but she is her and she got to go do her shit. Like, I'm ready for this relationship now, but she's 23 and focused on her goals. When I was 23, I used to love that bar because I had that dumb 20s mentality that things might change. Like, let me focus on my career here, and then 30s, I'll smoke it with marriage and kids, and like that's when things settle down. And that's the catch-22 of, I hate the word ambition because it's corny now, but when you have drive and focus and really obsess over your career and everything that you're doing, it doesn't turn off. You just need to learn how to adjust to that when you get older. In no way I'm just like, I have the same mentality I had when I was in my 20s. Now I'm not like, well, now I'll just pull back my love for everything I've been doing just to do this family thing now because I think this is the years you're supposed to do it. You just have to adjust to it. You just have to adjust. It's never going to go away. Because I used to think the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
When I would hear that Hove bar. Yeah, I'm 23. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Then I can turn it off and do the family thing. It doesn't work that way. If you are that obsessive about things, you're going to continue to stay that way. If you're that passionate about what you're doing, it's not going to fade away because you feel like now is the time to have a family and focus on that or have a relationship. You just need to change how you move to balance both of those things. And that's the only thing that can happen.
Yeah, and for me, I think I've had like the pleasure of watching you like bring with Amara, take a shot.
Yeah.
When Amara came around and it was now you had a family, it wasn't like, oh, the rest of this takes a back seat, because best case scenario, what you were able to do, like, this is a self-sufficient thing. This is a company. You've made it a thing where it's the success. You did it. So, but the doing it doesn't mean you plateau and it becomes easy and you can just go on coast mode. I've seen firsthand the studio, the building this from the work started more once it became a real thing.
Because that's also for most people. Once you have kids, it's now you have to make sure everyone can eat. Not everyone retires with like, sells their company and now I can lay back with all this money and it doesn't matter. No, now I got to turn it up more because I have kids. But then at the same time, it's like, am I sacrificing time with them? And it becomes a weird balance, but also kicks into somebody that is obsessive about what they do and passionate about. You turn it on with your kids as well. That's why you get in hyper mode and are able to continue to work and be with your children, because your ambition is still with your kids as well. It goes across the board. I mean, unless you're a piece of shit that just wants to work and says, fuck my family. But yeah, it's across, you just become a more evolved person. It doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a day, how I know you are and how you felt in your 20s and how you are now. There's not going to be a day where you're like, oh, today I turned 36 and how I obsess over my personal career and my personal growth and my love for myself is now done and I'm ready for the wife and kids. It just has to be added to that, which is a very hard fucking thing to do.
Trying, man. Shit sucks. Here I am. It's Valentine's Day. It's two dudes talking.
Valentine's Day, and
I got no pussy.
yesterday we're shooting. Demaris in her, take a shot. Amara's in her stroller, napping, right to the studio. Like, if you're gonna continue to get shit done, you need to do it with your kids. Like, people give Dame Dash a lot of shit, and it's ironic that Lost Ones also has a Dame Dash verse. I've always admired, even though Dame and his kid have had struggles, Dame moves around with his wife, his dog, and his kids. Like, everywhere he goes, to every interview, anytime you see him, when he's in his compound out in LA shooting stuff, I always thought that was like the flyest shit. Dame is always with his family. I think that shit is so cool. It can be stressful and sometimes make work a little bit more difficult because you have so many other things going on that you have to focus. But yeah, to have your kids around this shit is cool. It's the only way I see it working, because I'm not going to go to the studio.
Yeah, of course.
like that's not going to happen. But I'm also never going to choose the studio over my kid. So
bring them.
Find the balance. Yeah, yeah. Robbie, our engineer over here, she was trying to give him mixing notes last night. She was very rude.
That was a great photo you posted, by the way. The Miss Rachel.
Yeah, and even like yesterday was a great example of that. Kia and Amara came to the studio. They were there for like half the session. Then they left, which is helpful to Kia as well, that like she's not just by herself with Amara. We got some work done. Then they left to go back to the crib. And then Robbie and I locked in for another hour and a half, no distractions, and then went right back home. That's like the perfect scenario of balance to me. That's not always attainable, but it's the best way I see it. Yeah. I hope Amara doesn't have fucking, her ears aren't fucked.
But although, because it's tough having these conversations because we're only talking about it from your perspective, and I'm sure you have these conversations with Kia. Like, you're saying this is the best for you, but is that the best for her?
As far as like what she wants to do with,
well,
her
I just mean like
career,
you're saying, like you're saying these studio sessions aren't going to stop. So like, what's the fix around? What's the workaround for you? Well, bringing Amara and Kia to the studio. I'm saying like it sounds like it's best fitting for you, but I'm
speaking from a privileged place for sure, because we're in LA for what, 11 days. I've been out. I came out before you guys. About 12 days. I fortunately can fly Kia and Amara out here with me, so she doesn't have to be alone for 12 days. But again, I'm doing what's working for me. And that's kind of my point, is however you are as a human being, you need to adjust to make things work. I can only speak for me.
Yeah, I get, but I would imagine she would obviously. That's a long time. It's almost 2 weeks. She'd prefer to be out here with you. I was speaking more to like the studio stuff.
Because it's tough for her. Like, we don't do the nanny thing based off Kia wanting to be with Amara at all times. But that shit gets super stressful. So to leave her alone for 12 days with a toddler, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because she would lose her fucking mind, as she should, as any human being would.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. So, luckily I can do that, but that's even people that can't do that still figure it out as far as being with their kids and working. It's doable. It sucks sometimes, but it's doable. And I'm only a year in, so like, I'm not an expert. I'm only talking about my experience and my experience only. That's it. And I've failed a bunch of times, but this is the best way that I know how to do it. Is just have them around at all times. It's better for the family and the work, because both can get done at the same time.
True. All right.
I wanted to grab a drink with you and Armani last night, but balance. I would have loved to leave the studio and have some tequila, but balance.
Should have brought Amara. We were at a lounge. It was chill.
That should have brought your kid. It was chill. It was a lounge.
It's Delilah's. No. 796.
Bringing your kid to Delilah's. Not even Drake brings his kid to Delilah's.
That I don't know. Well, that back room you could bring whoever the fuck you want in that back room.
Well,
that's such a local obnoxious conversation to have.
And listen, stars that don't, and I'm not. This isn't a Drake thing, but stars that don't take care of their kids or have their kids everywhere are weird as fuck to me.
Oh, so everyone?
That's not true. Beyonce, when she
they
tours,
don't count. They bring the whole family. I know. They don't count.
Okay. The one time I talked about when I went to Puff's for New Year's Eve, when I went to use the bathroom, Khaled had his kid with nannies, which is fine, and was going back and forth to the party because they were doing content. Like, he was working. Don't get it twisted. Khaled was working.
I was going to say, was Azad there for the rollout or?
No, and you know, again, this is privileged shit because you can hire nannies, and also a separate wing of Puff's crib can have 2 nannies in a bed for his son to sleep while he works. But yeah, I've seen it. That's why I think stars, because they have all the privilege and do have the money and access, are the truest deadbeats to me if they don't take care of their kids. By far, the truest. There's a lot of people that I think get the deadbeat tag when they shouldn't. It's because they're really just trying to provide for their kid and can't be around that often. People, you have money to do a nanny and travel, like, and don't have your kids there for that experience. I read 50's book. 50 brought Marcus on 2 tours, brought responsible nannies, was with him in between shows. Like, you can do it. Just say you hate your kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're just, the truth of the matter is they don't want to raise, you don't want to forego that. Like you said, it's about working into your schedule.
Yeah.
Well, get the fuck out of my schedule. I just want to go on the road. I want to do my thing.
Even Cole talking about 21 Savage at the beginning of A Lot. Like, yo, I pulled up to the studio. He had all his kids in the studio. I thought that was the cool shit. Like, there are plenty of entertainers that do that. But then, you know, you find out some rich people that could bring their kids anywhere and with a safe environment where they could work and let the nanny handle a few hours. Is like, that's the worst shit on earth to me. Like, now you're just really an irresponsible and evil human being. But I don't even know how we got down this entire thing. Now it's morbid. I'm sure we're
22-year-old kid breaking up and shit.
Dumper.
Yeah, you'll find someone else. You're young, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just go rub one out and get on the timeline.
I'm telling you this now, sir. At 22 years old, this pain you're feeling sucks. But if you stay with her and think that's the one, you're going to feel a different type of pain at 35 when you guys break up and you've only fucked one girl and had one experience since then. That'll be a way worse pain of trying to date at 35 after you've been in a 10-year relationship. Way worse pain. Look at it that way.
Yeah, more fish in the sea. Keep swimming. That's all I got to say. I'm still swimming.
Subscribe to OnlyFans. We know you are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that got deep out of nowhere. That was nice though.
I appreciated that.
It was cute.
Thank you.
I just feel like it would have been nice to have them all there to call me gay or, you know, break the tension when we get down into those deep categories. But it's not. Rest in peace to Maul. We miss him. We hope he feels better. Go get some slides. Go get a half zip. Go get some socks. Valentine's Day passed. This following week is now for the side chicks. I mean, the slides they're reasonably priced. That's a good side chick gift. I mean, for the main, I would get this half zip, but you know, socks and slides, easy post Valentine's Day gift. I'm not going to say our sign off.
Don't look to me to say. I don't like saying. See, I don't like
Benner?
saying the N word.
You don't like saying the N word. Rel's racially ambiguous. We don't know.
I'm not gonna do it.
Should I say it? Because it'll send they'll get mad.
It was like when Logic was saying the N word. We're like, is he okay to say this?
It
feels weird.
Fucking category is Logic. I also feel like it's stolen valor if I say it because I'm not. It's Maul's thing.
Or we could just do kind of like the moment of silence since you have like all these flowers here.
Mm-hmm.
We could just do 2 beats of when he says it quietly, and then so he's just ginger.
Oh, you're speaking on behalf of yourself.
And by the way, I didn't think it in my head.
Yes, you did. You can't take
I just
the
did a
beats.
2-beat.
What were
I
the
just-
beats for? What did you fill in that
the
dead
count
space?
in which he says that cadence. I
What-
just did.
you- but
I
you're
just
saying
did
it as
the
the
BPM
cadence.
of what he says, and then I
Rory
just
thought
followed.
it. Rory thought it for Valentine's Day. He said Maul's his. You just thought it again. Look at him. He did it
No,
again.
I'm
He thought
on
it again.
beat. I'm just
No, you're on beat.
when I listen to rap, I still bop my head when they say it. I'm still there.
All right.
I'm just not saying it.
Yeah. Okay. He said it.
Peace.
He's gonna say it on Patreon.
No worry and mouth.